Yes, completely.
During that, the reason why was also because I felt guilty for taking down the video on Toasty because I was gaslit by Junkie and the others by dislike bombing and people lying to me, and I felt horrible for what I did to Teddy and for taking down the video and voicing my anger behind the scenes and being extremely overkill. I did everything and then I went to the FCK and saw everything, and it was worse than I ever imagined it. I was doing everything in my power to make up for it, and I was afraid that if I confronted them, that that they would be in a terrible mental position. I didn't know what to do, and I was irrational, but
they would be in a terrible mental state either or, because again, you're still voicing their trauma, you're voicing their experiences, they're voicing what they've probably pushed down. Or I do agree that I'm very glad it's being covered. I'm very glad it's being talked about. I'm extremely annoyed that it was looked past for a multitude of years, but that it wasn't even prefaced with the idea of a victim coming forward or you reaching out to a victim, either or, just explaining the seriousness of it. I'm flummoxed.
You're what?
Because
flummoxed.
How it was.
I'm sorry. Could you elaborate?
Flummoxed is just like confused. Like, I just do not get the logic. I'm flummoxed by that decision.
I'm
flummoxed.
I
have to be a little British. I have to be a little British. Come on, I'm allowed to be a little British. Expressed to me for so long.
Completely double default.
Victims are reclaiming their stories, but man, I assumed it was reclaiming their stories from the FCK, from the people who exposed them to this, but no, it was reclaiming their stories from you.
Thankfully, somebody else is handling that.
Literally, what I did with
Who?
Jinx.
Oh, Laka. Laka?
No, Freeman.
Who? Fumin.
Yeah, Freeman's. Yeah, I thought this was known. Yeah, Freeman's making a video on it.
Oh.
And I'm now in contact with Freeman to see if I can help in any kind of way.
Gotcha.
I can't morally grandstand on stage and then not say I'm going to help. So I'm now somewhat helping as much as I can to a certain degree.
Yeah, that's fair.
Help Jibs with Lumi and Peaches, and now to know that you've done the same thing.
I can't judge. There are people behind the scenes I've been helping as well.
That you've put them in the position where they felt like they had to speak up because, and they, God knows if they were ready. God knows if they wanted it to be spoke about now. Because it's one of those situations where it's incredibly shitty. It's really hard, but you need to make sure that victims are informed first and foremost, or talked to, or just comforted, or anything, not just straight away. Like, if you're going to do it straight away, you file a police report. You do everything beforehand. So even if it doesn't go public, you've still done the legally right thing, which you have done. I will give you that. You have generally done that. You've shown me that you've done that, and I'm glad that you have. You've used the right channels to report that server, and I'm really glad that you did do that. But it's just, it feels a bit backwards. It feels a bit backwards, Vin, if I'm being honest.
Fair enough.
Sorry, go ahead, Crystal.
Have you talked to the victims, like Teddy and anything like that? I'd be like, what has been their thoughts on this?
Their thoughts were that they were annoyed, but that I was apologetic, and I apologized to Mimi, and they were okay with it. Yeah, but yeah, I did apologize to them profusely.
Was this before or after you used the account to constantly talk about me?
For like the...
What? Okay, Lyle, you don't matter right now. Shut the fuck up. But what about me, guys? What about me?
Outing?
No. The one thing I'll also say here, I'm definitely projecting my own views on how you need to treat victims onto Vin here, and that's not okay.
Again, this is like
Yeah.
around 4 a.m. here, and I can realize, yeah, no, I'm definitely trying to hold Vin to my own standards and how I like to hold myself, and I shouldn't have done that to Vin. So again, Crystal L there completely.
Well, at least you were being nicer than Leo, I guess. But yeah, Leo, it's just like, guys, I was in the middle of something. It was about me.
You talked to these victims. Was it before or after you started talking about me on
Before.
the account? Because I just got word that you had to be coaxed into filing police reports.
What?
And I know the person who's telling me this is being truthful.
So they're like, oh, well, I heard that you had to be coaxed into doing it. And I know this is true because the person telling me I believe. Again, he's making assertions without evidence, while also getting mad at Rin for making assertions without evidence.
They do own up to it in this, and this kind of annoyed. This was the point, like, literally after this point, this is when I joined the call with you yesterday.
Oh, I see.
Just so you understand the timeline. Yeah, you'll see.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you to verify. Did you have to be coaxed into filing those police reports?
I was.
But here's the thing. Why did Rin, even if that's true, I'm assuming that's true then, if Rin's going to admit it, but why does Rin have to be coaxed into doing that in the first place?
What do you mean?
So, why does Rin have to be the one to file police reports?
They're not. Fair point. But again, it's under the position, from my point of view at least, I'm not speaking for Lio here in any kind of degree.
Okay.
But in my point of view, is again in a position they've put themselves in. Like I literally explained it to them in the privately, being like, I see you as a version of me who dealt with the FCK, like in a position that they wanted to advocate for the victims, they wanted to be the figurehead of it, blah blah blah. You know, FCK leaks account. Yeah.
Right.
So my annoyance was that they didn't do this first and foremost, making sure that all the right channels are checked. Again, I'm projecting in this bit here way too much on them, and I will not do this anymore.
Okay.
I'm not doing calls this late anymore.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so I think that's why I'm annoyed by it, but I don't know why Lia's annoyed by it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a bit of like a, I don't like, the bigger issue is the fact that they had to be coaxed into doing it in the first place. Like, it almost makes it sound like that they had to file a police report against their will, which doesn't sound very fair to me. I don't think anyone should have to do that. But I know I'm not arguing with you. I'm just pointing out.
No, I'm curious. Like, this is just a general question now.
Okay.
And if you were arguing with me, I'm all for it. Please, Enlaa, like, do not give me kindness if you think I'm being cringe as hell. Genuinely.
Okay.
But like, so if you saw a crime, like let's just say you knew there was a groomer, and you are the only one of the few people who have evidence for this.
Right.
Do you feel like it would be bad for people to coach you to make a police report on that groomer?
I guess it depends on what they mean by coaxing. So there is a bit of nuance there. Like by coaxing, does it mean like they had to talk about it a bit? And, like, make sure it's what Rin really wanted to do, or, like, convince her that it was the right thing to do, you know what I mean? Like, or coaxing as in, like, go on, make the report for us, please make the report for us. Like, what does it mean by that? So I think, like, the specifics would have to be known, so I think it's a bit of a gray area.
Absolutely, I'd agree.
So yeah, I think more context for that would be needed, but... Anyway,
Afraid because the legal case was ruined because it was 4 years ago as a statute of limitations, and also because I wanted to. I was afraid that it wouldn't go nowhere, and
Why were you afraid? It wasn't for you.
You were afraid it was going to go nowhere, so you had to be okay.
So you were afraid it was going to nowhere, so you had to make a Twitter account and.
No, I got this.
Please,
you were
please.
That it was going to go nowhere, so you had to be convinced to make a police report, you do know if you did nothing, it would also go nowhere. You are arguing a negative. You are worried it was going to go nowhere, so you had to be coaxed into making a police report, which would make it go somewhere. Even that small chance. Then, when I filed my police report against Artie and Fear, against my groomers, I had it in the back of my head. It would probably go nowhere, because we know how the legal system works. But with that being said, it still gives it a chance. A small chance of it going somewhere. Why did you have to be coaxed into it, Rin? Why did you have to be coaxed into it?
Now, okay, this is just my speculation, obviously. I don't know what's in Rin's mind. But the difference here is that you were the victim in this case. And Rin is not a victim of the FCK.
Yeah.
And it could be a hesitation on their part because it wouldn't be on their own behalf. It would be on somebody else's behalf.
Here's a fun one for you.
Okay.
I only literally found out that Rin wasn't an FCK victim after this section.
What? Okay.
Yes, that's how much I didn't know. So again, that's on me. I very much assuming now.
Oh.
So.
Okay. Well then.
Mm-hmm. But that's why I was like using that point.
Right, I
thought
see.
You did that on your own being, and you were just confused, and that's why, Rin, I don't have to. There's been many times I've had conversations with Lio where I felt like he was being too hard, and I didn't get it because I don't want to involve myself in situations. I don't want to involve myself in the FCK because again, it's being handled now by the appropriate channels. But man, to know that you were coaxed into making a police report, that you didn't ask the victims for permission, that you didn't do anything like this, I'm amazed that Lio has been so graceful in this chat.
Graceful?
Remember, I was in at the very, remember,
Crystal, you make my brain hurt.
Elder, completely L. I want to shoot myself. If that,
if
that helps.
Listen. I get it. You weren't there for the full thing. It was late.
Yeah.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But god damn.
He was not graceful.
You make it hard for me sometimes.
No, he was not graceful. Again, like, no, complete Crystal Elder. He was not graceful. I'll say it right here. And Lio, you're probably watching. Hi, bestie. You shouldn't have mentioned Rin's father that much. You should have been more understanding of their mental well-being. And you did. There's a section of the call where you're saying you would have dragged them into a different chat. X, Y, and Z. It's like, no. If you want to drop the Zenith mentality, you do not repeat the Zenith mentality. What I said there, you didn't give them us grace. While you weren't shouting, you were still putting unfair pressure on Rin. Especially if it was under the precondition that this was only meant to be a one-on-one call. Again, I wasn't aware of this. And that they were essentially tricked into this whole point of talking into the FCK, talking to you and everything like that. Yeah, no, there was not grace provided in this call. That's my take now. I know all the details.
Now, I highly doubt Leo's watching because I don't think he watches the content.
Trust me, he'll probably get back to him being like, Crystal's on the end of the stream. Oh my god.
You've been on my stream before, though, haven't you?
It always gets back to him.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that he always hears stuff like through third-party sources.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I really think I even sent him a link to my stream. Like, I'm streaming right now. You're welcome to come and join the chat. Give us your side. But you didn't do it, so.
But yeah, no, that's what I'll take there.
You're all right.
Swear.
At least you own up to it.
Liar, you can go.
Oh, this is where I say one specific thing. I've had a lot of people tell me that my behavior from the roads call hasn't changed. But here's the kicker, Ren, you're very lucky. Very, 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 very lucky. But I don't operate like I used to in Senate.
Now, what do you make of that, since you're here?
I zoned out. Sorry. You can go back.
Crystal! You're fine. But he said, you're lucky that we don't operate this like we did for the Rosa call.
That shows lack of regret. That shows lack of regret for the Rosa call.
Exactly!
Like,
it shows that, we could be. You're lucky I have eyes on me now that are keeping track of how I operate things.
Yeah, no,
You're lucky that people have a microscope on me. Microscope.
Yeah, no, it's not a good take. It's the idea of like, oh yeah, I could be like this. You're lucky that people are, literally what you said. You're lucky people are holding me back. Yeah. You saw what happened to Rosa.
He's literally at every turn, he's basically admitting that he's being held back from doing what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
He said so at the beginning of his confrontation that the reason he wasn't screaming is because he was in a Walmart McDonald's. And literally couldn't, because otherwise he'd probably be asked to leave. He was physically restrained by his environment and from social norms to not be yelling at Rin. Now, granted, I don't think he would yell at Rin simply because of the fact that he knows that people are going to be watching him.
Yeah, no, I would have called him out there and then, because again, I remember how I was in the call, came to you Rin didn't tell any of the FCK victims, and I took a minute to call off, and then I went back in call. Mm-hmm. That was again
you were going back and forth can you guys believe this? I can't believe this. I'm going back in there.
I was devastated. I was no, I need to make sure they don't shout at Rin, because if I'm annoyed, if I'm flummoxed, they probably are as well. But no, everyone knew us apart from me. It's fuck.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. If Laia did raise their voice again, I should have jumped in. There was multiple times where I should have jumped in and be hey, you shouldn't have mentioned their parents that many times. Hey, that seems like a very leading question. Blah blah blah. I could have done a lot more in this call. But again, my main thing was to make sure Vin was not shouted at in this call. And
that's
they won.
Fair. Well, you did your job at least on that front.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll continue.
You know that because it's called what is calm. I have people on another server right now who kind of wish I would toss you to them because they're very hungry for ramen. I'm choosing not to right now.
What?
Right now.
Wait, to Kumo?
Wait. No, different. No, I didn't say Kumo.
Oh, who'd he say?
I don't know. But it's different people he used to talk to. I think this was a really weird point.
I don't know.
Because you are in a very dangerous place, and I know if I do it, I know if I toss you in there.
I'm sure Crystal will later. They'll have a conversation about this surely.
Mm-hmm. With
Villa saying that you could message Lio now,
I'd rather have a conversation. Honestly,
exactly.
Again,
that's what I'm saying. I'm sure that they'll talk about this when emotions have cooled.
Yeah, no, it's again, I'm not afraid to say it to him. I'm literally saying it on a public stream. It's going to get back to him either or. I'm going to tell him I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy that you didn't make me aware that this was meant to be a one-on-one call. I'm not happy with how it was led on to the extended version. It went on for multiple hours. Yeah, not happy.
Okay, so Crystal has already apologized to Rin.
I've already apologized to Rin. I've already made the call public. I've already changed the title and deleted tweets. Yeah, I've done everything I can. I even made a tweet apologizing for it publicly before anyone told me to.
Yeah, so we're just riffing up Crystal a little bit, but they've already taken accountability for their, I guess you could say, inaction, but I don't really I don't know. I don't like getting on people for not doing things, you know what I mean?
Also, I would like to say I definitely am not back in relation to, there's a lot of things in the call I do not stand by. It's the same thing that's happened in other calls, where I've been in calls where Lia's been shit-talked, and then people are well, Crystal must feel this way because they were in that call and said nothing. It's no. Just because I'm saying nothing doesn't mean I'm agreeing. I could step in and say more, but I'm not agreeing with it. Unless I say, yes, I agree with this point, I don't agree with it.
I agree with you, Villa, in the sense that, Rin kind of just, walked into the trap knowingly, in a way. But that doesn't excuse, it doesn't in no way excuse Lio's actions, for sure. But I know exactly what you're saying.
Out on your butt tonight, because they will not be kind. They will not be patient. They will not be having a calm conversation with you. They are going to snatch you. They would snatch you up by your short hairs, and they would eat you alive.
Wait, who's he talking about now? Hold on.
They will not be patient. You are in a very dangerous place right now.
Sorry, I gotta back up a little bit.
Very hungry for ramen. I'm choosing not to right now, because you are in a very dangerous place, and I know if I do it, I know if I toss you in there, you'll be out on your butt tonight, because they will not be kind. They will not be patient. They will not be having a calm conversation with you. they are going to snatch you. They would snatch you up by your short hairs, and they would eat you alive.
Who do you think he's referring to?
I think they were like talking because there's most of the old Senate. Again, I do not know. This is very guessy. But the old Senate mods very are not happy with the new approach to the Senate, where it's like very the cat's lair, where less slurs are said. So I think it's the idea of saying you're lucky that the old boards aren't here, and if you keep on going, I'm going to chuck you to them, kind of idea.
Right now,
That's...
I have people on another server right now who kind of wish I would toss you to them because they're very hungry for piranhas. I'm choosing not to right now. Because you are in a very dangerous place. And I know if I do...
You are in a very dangerous place.
I know if I toss you in there, in a very dangerous place. And I know if I do it. I know if I toss you in there, you'll be out on your butt tonight.
You'll be out on your butt tonight. Do you think that means kicked out?
Yeah.
Thrown out of their home?
Like yeah, it does sound like a threat. I'm not going to deny that.
He is holding power over Rin's head. Because he knows he has that power over Rin.
Because they will not be kind. They will not be patient. They will not be having a calm conversation with you. They are going to snatch you. They would snatch you up by your short hairs, and they would eat you alive.
I'll be back.
Yeah, no problem, Chris.
So while they're probably going to be tagging me in the chat soon, like, why don't you give us this meat? I'm not doing to your safety.
That was the way I said I'll be back. No, that was in the call.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
that's
I got
where
confused.
I joined your server. Yeah, no, that's why I joined your server and be like, Enlaa, you're never gonna guess what.
No, yeah, okay, all right, got you. Sorry, let me back up just a little bit.
Okay. They will not be kind.
Because I think
they
you
will
clarified.
Not be patient. They will not be having a calm conversation with you. They are going to snatch you. They would snatch you up by your short hairs, and they would eat you alive.
I'll be back.
So while they're probably going to be tagging me in the chat soon, like, why don't you give us this meat? I'm not doing to out of your safety. Because the
Okay, so he might be referring to Old Guard? I mean, I guess? Or to the Peanut Gallery? I have no idea. I mean, he's purposefully vague like that, but...
Because I did put in a safeguard, because, again, I wanted Rin to be safe. Because, again, like I said before, I know Rin is sensitive, and that's not a dig at them, that's just how they hold themselves. So I made sure they had a custom role where they couldn't see the peanut gallery or see any chats. It was only the voice chat they could join.
Okay.
That was, because, people are going to be mean and rude and chat, so I didn't want them to be exposed to that for no reason.
So he could be referring to just, like, the typical peanut gallery. Like,
Maybe,
oh, I could throw you to the wolves right now. But I'm a merciful god.
I'm a merciful.
I won't do that to you.
Here's a looming threat, but you see, I'm a good person, though.
Okay. Not as bad as I thought, but it's still a threat, nonetheless.
I'm showing for you more than consideration you showed for these victims. All the while, and I hate having to use this word, because it is absolutely used, very much so by the people you like, but all the while you're sitting there grandstanding on your Twitter about me and how I don't care for victims. I'm not going to pretend like the way I've treated them has always been good. It certainly has. Jibs is a good testament to that in multiple ways. I was not prepared to properly deal with them. In that case,
but you're prepared now? Like, what has changed between now and then?
Smarter than me on that. Probably about a lot of other things, too. But I'm not going to pull the stunts you have. This is why I say you don't care.
No,
Rin.
I'll just pull much worse stunts.
Did Akumu ask any of the victims before making that video?
Yes!
Yes or no?
No.
What do you mean, no? What do you mean, no? Red? Akuma was talking to Slumers before he was talking to anybody else.
Oh my god.
He was talking to Slumers for years.
I haven't heard this.
Slumers helped him with the coverage.
Rin, please.
Rin.
How is this about the victims?
Akuma's never said it was about the victims.
Rin, I am sitting on so much crap right now.
Shut up.
I would love to wrap, metaphorically, my fingers around the next.
Oh, Lio. Yeah, to catch himself there.
That metaphorically coming in clutch.
Oh, that metaphorically coming in clutch to save your stupid ass. Lio. Oops.
The Enlaa, I would like to metaphorically kill you.
I would like to metaphorically wrap my fingers around your skinny throat. Yo! Oh my god, this is where I'm sending this to Ev, I'm sending this to Chris, to Leia, to literally fucking everybody. This is gold. My god, they're gonna have a field day with this one.
Certain scumbags. And the reason I haven't is because the people who have been victimized by them have not given me clearance to do so.
Wait, hold on. I want to hear that in full.
I would love to wrap, metaphorically, my fingers around the necks of certain scumbags.
Of certain scumbags. of certain scumbags.
The reason I haven't is because the people who have been victimized by them have not given me clearance to do so.
Oh, okay. I would love to wrap my fingers around the necks of some of these scumbags. The only reason I'm not doing so is because I haven't gotten clearance. Whose clearance do you need to go for me, for example? Or whose clearance do you need to go for Kumo? Whose clearance do you need to go for Vlad?
Oh, no. Oh, okay, get what you're saying there. Yeah, no, fair.
Well, he's been calling us degenerate scumbags, too. Don't get me wrong.
No, true. I still yet to know a reason for you, by the way. I'm still yet to know a reason. I do not know.
Well, I'm sure nowadays it's the infamous ketchup incident of 2024.
No, before that. I still want to know
Even before
that. Like, yeah, I need to know why I wasn't allowed to talk to you. Like, holy shit. Still don't know.
We didn't even really talk all that much.
We didn't. And I generally think it was because, like, you covered the Nix and Jackie thing, and, like...
Oh, no, they've made that clear. They've said
really?
that they think the only reason I've ever gotten involved in any of this is because I was upset that Nix and Jackie were called out.
Oh my god.
But it's like, okay, whatever. I won't get into it again.
Sure.
And these are people who have harmed multiple people.
Like who?
And I would love to do it, but I will not until I get clearance from...
The full moon's not out yet. I would love to. But I just can't. It's almost like you got nothing. It's almost like you have no ammo, and that's why you can't. Because you know that whatever you called them out for, you'd have to take accountability for too. Enlaa, get Crystal to check my DMs. How can Crystal check your DMs? Guys, are we getting hypnotized by marbles?
I've checked DMs, all good.
Okay.
Every single person involved, which is why I told you to sit on it.
Even me?
I didn't do it because I wanted you to hurt, or because I wanted to disregard your concerns. I didn't.
You're literally doing that right now. You literally disregarded Rin's concerns about being caught by their dad by getting into another Discord call. You completely disregarded that. But whatever.
Do awful things. And these people making art, taking light at that, joy at it, are disgusting. And I literally...
The art! Not the art! The horrible, horrible art!
Really...
I'm gonna have to DM you that, Enlaa.
Wish for death on them. And I'm not going to apologize for that. So if this ever does go to YouTube and have people saying I haven't changed, no, I ain't going to change about that.
Change about
that
what?
Maintains.
Telling people to
You
kill
may have taken
themselves?
that from them.
So you're not gonna change on the front of telling people you don't like to kill themselves. Great. Lio is having. Why are you DMing me this?
I'm sorry, I don't know if you want to say it properly. I don't want to sidetrack you.
Well, it's not gonna sidetrack me, but it's interesting info. You can say it out loud. It's fine.
I might dip to record it.
Okay. I'll let them know then.
Yeah, okay.
So Lio's having another call with the lawyer that he had an argument with in the on Stardust stream. So
I'll be back.
Okay.
Here it goes.
Good luck. All right. It hurts to see the art making fun of me. Yeah, basically, it's like I got a picture drawn of me as a wet cat grimacing at the camera. Okay, you're not the only victim here, Lio.
Because in your world, you're the only one who matters. It's why you'll excuse terrible things other people do so long.
I'm not going to sit here and say that you don't care about victims being preyed upon. I'm just going to say that you think you're the only person that matters. Okay, Lio.
Those are your friends.
There's no way he's arguing with a lawyer. Well, again, I haven't seen their credentials, but apparently they're a lawyer. But apparently they're going to argue with the lawyer again.
And it's why you'll run with false accusations of abuse so long as it's somebody you don't like.
They're not false until you prove them to be false. Or the other party can prove them to be true. So I guess technically...
Efron probably has some things he wants to say to you right now.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about what Efron says.
Simply because I needed time to cool off for a moment.
I don't give a fuck about what Ephraim thinks or says.
Random ranting. That is not.
I
feel like it's
Damage had already been done.
What did you say?
Do you think the reason that the victims told you they were okay with the account after it came online was because they figured the damage had already been done?
Is that the truth, or is that an assumption you're making, Lio?
I think they said something along the lines, yeah.
Oh, let me take a look at what Monster said.
I know some people are getting concerned about how long this has been going.
I don't disagree.
3 hours.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, it's 4
I don't
hours.
disagree. This is getting longer than it should.
I wonder why.
However,
It should have ended like an hour and a half ago, Lio. I wonder why it's taking longer. It's because you're adding on shit that was never agreed upon beforehand.
I need to make some things very clear here, and then we will close out. Rin, I understand, empathize,
No, you
and
don't.
sympathize
No,
with
you don't.
things you have gone through in
No, you don't.
relation to things like the FCK. I do.
No, you don't.
However, I will give you a comparison.
Oh, another
what
analogy.
toys did you play with when you were a kid? Just name one.
God!
Nintendo DS.
So, you have a Nintendo DS, and another person in your classroom has a Nintendo DS. Because you have a Nintendo DS, does that mean you can go mess with their Nintendo DS?
What
No.
the fuck?